Winged Lancers, Griffin Legion and Bear Riders in Warhammer Total War look awesome, brutal, fearsome and pretty akin to their historical original, the Polish Winged Hussars. The main feature of the Winged Hussars was fantastic skill and unparalleled horse riding art, accomplished by the hardest ever training. Due to these, the Hussars achieved the tightest formation possible in cavalry. In the lance attack they rode knee in knee. Right behind the knee of one lancer was the knee of the next one, repeated for the entire formation. As a result, the Hussars formed a blunt wedge that crushed everything in its path. Winged Hussars' distinctive armor combined the best features of Western European and Turkish armors. The wings were, strictly saying, purely decorative. At first they were attached to the saddle, later to the rider's back. However, with these wings, the Hussar looked bigger and his silhouette seemed unusual to horses. Thus the wings added some effect of scaring enemy soldiers and horses. The Hussars used very long pike lances for their cavalry charges, up to 5.5 meters long. They employed two weapons for the melee skirmish following the lance attack: a saber to cut down infantry while riding a horse, and something for armor piercing, usually a horseman's pick or a kanchar. Kanchar, a long stabbing sword for armor piercing, could also be limitedly used sort of instead of a lance. The Hussars were recruited from the Polish military aristocracy, Szlachta, former Polish knights. The aristocrats signed a contract with an insanely rich man and served him for 5 years, or 2 years in the Royal Hussar Horukv banner. The Hussars' recruiter was obliged not only to pay them regularly, but also help them buy all the needed equipment and horses. Thereby, the recruitment and maintenance of the Polish Winged Hussars was unimaginably expensive. Practically, in terms of organization, they were an equivalent of the Western European gendarmes, a heavy cavalry which served purely for money. The golden age of Hussaria took place in the end of 16th, the first half of 17th centuries. At that time, their sky-high price did pay off. But from the very beginning, the Hussars had two problems aside from their astronomical cost. First, being arrogant nobles, the Hussars had problems with their discipline. In a number of cases, they just refused to attack. Being arrogant Polish nobles, they drank gallons of vodka. Second, they were not really successful against infantry formations with pikes and muskets. With the development of gunpowder weapons, heavy cavalry became useless, and by the 18th century the Hussars had lost their efficiency. Thus, the Polish Winged Hussars were the pinnacle of heavy cavalry evolution.